Welcome to Down to Business with V, a show dedicated to bringing you actionable information to help protect you, your families, your businesses, and the community. I'm your host V, and today we're bringing you the Founder's Dilemma. We've called in the founder and CEO of an international software development solution for startups and organizations worldwide. He'll share his insights and expertise, and as always, we'll share what to do if you're a victim of fraud. Stay tuned for that and more. Let's get down to business.
From Atlanta, Georgia, to becoming a United States Marine, to Washington, D.C., and every place in between, everybody calls me V. My goal is to bring you resources, education, and knowledge from sources you can trust that informs and protects to safeguard our families, our businesses, and the community. Now let's get down to business.
Welcome to Down to Business with V, a show dedicated to bringing you actionable information to help protect you, your families, your businesses, and the community. I'm your host V, and today we're bringing you the Founder's Dilemma, an insightful conversation for founders, CEOs, and entrepreneurs at heart. We've called in the founder and CEO of an international software development solution for startups and organizations worldwide to share his insight, encouragement, and expertise. Daniel Gorlovetsky is the founder and CEO of TLV Tech, a customer-centric software development solution for startups, large companies, and other organizations worldwide. With over 10 years of experience and a Bachelor's of Science from the Holland Institute of Technology, Daniel is an established leader, trusted Chief Technology Officer, and experienced Research and Development Manager. He's passionate about driving growth in business as well as sharing his expertise on the future of enterprise technology. Today, he'll share insight on organic growth versus raising capital, inspiration on the hard part of building businesses, and overcoming challenges on the journey of firsts. Here's my interview with Daniel. Daniel, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, V. I'm very excited to be here.
Yes, we are super excited to have you back for another episode today, Daniel. Can you give our audience that might not have seen your previous episode a little bit of background on you, your career in technology, and the companies that you've built so far?
Well, I'm Daniel. I'm that tech guy, right? I've been in tech for about 15 years. Anything from a few friends with an idea all the way up to companies that are M&A'd or IPO'd, so pretty successful. I led teams of hundreds of engineers, both locally and abroad. I love tech, and that's me.
Wonderful. Daniel, when we talked about your company, it was absolutely amazing how vast the services are that you provide within the technological landscape. Tell our audience a little bit about what you provide at TLV Tech.
So TLV Tech is all about solving challenges. We see the technology as an enabler. So apps, bots, websites, complex systems, computer vision, IoT, hardware, wherever we can leverage technologies to solve actual business problems, that's where we spend most of our time.
Wonderful. We were specifically talking to entrepreneurs and startup founders in our previous episode, and we'll be gearing this episode toward those that demographic as well. Let's talk a little bit about organic growth versus raising capital. A lot of them are in that stage where they might be looking to get capital for the next portion of their project. You had a very interesting take on how you did things. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
So last time we spoke about the classic journey, right? So an entrepreneur or a team of entrepreneurs, they come up with an idea, an innovation, and then they go to prove the thesis, they go into an MVP, then they go to seed round A, round B, which are basically ways to describe funding rounds. And it's very common to see this path, right? This journey. You read in the papers about this company raising this round and this amount of capital. But there's also a segment that we didn't discuss previously called bootstrapping. Bootstrapping means that you start a business and you run a business without raising a single dollar. You live from your revenues or from your profits, and you're able to grow and expand through that same revenue stream. This is a very different approach. It's called organic growth. I personally love this approach. I never raised capital in any of the companies I founded because I believe that the product needs to be that exciting and that innovative that people would just beg to have it, right? And injecting money into the business, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just a synthetic way to grow, right? You're kind of throwing money on branding, on advertising, or on things that would really get more traffic, but it wouldn't necessarily be like a painkiller, more like a vitamin. And in this case, again, I think that if you have a very good thesis, if you have a very good product, and if you really solve a problem, right? I think that you would succeed whether if you go with organic growth or synthetic. Of course, organic is much more difficult, but I think it's worth it in the long run.
Yeah, I love your perspective on it. You said that funding and raising capital is synthetic, and you're putting money into things like the branding and all of that, but there is value in bootstrapping it. I think a lot of entrepreneurs might look at that bootstrapping opportunity as, something that they're just maybe in default mode with because there isn't additional capital as far as fundraising, but you've given a whole new perspective to it. It's something that we can value.
Absolutely. For some reason, my best analogy would be somebody who runs marathons. I don't, right? But it's just people who enjoy the pain. They see value in the struggle. It's not even the pain. One of my friends, he says that difficulty and effort are two separate words, right? It's not like it's hard, right? It's just the challenge that keeps them on going. Right, so bootstrapping is very similar to running a marathon. You just like the challenge. You like to put yourself to the edge, I guess, right, and test your skills out.
That's absolutely amazing. Listen, I'm not a runner either. I was in the United States Marine Corps, and we had to run every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then do PT sessions. It's never been my fun thing. So when you talk about people that just like the pain, I knew a group of those people, and those would be our bootstrappers here. So great analogy. So you talked about, the people that enjoy the pain, and in our preliminary conversation, you talked about the hard part on the journey of first. As an entrepreneur who's built multiple companies, you've had an opportunity to encounter, maybe 10, 15 years of the hard part on that journey of first. Talk to our entrepreneurs, our startup people, and the founders about how they embrace these hurdles, or what they should do as they encounter these hurdles, and what the hard part looked like for you.
I think that there's always a hard part, and it looks different for everyone approaching the entrepreneurship journey. But I think that the concept remains the same, right? It's doing the things that either you don't like doing or are difficult for you to do, or building up your confidence, right? I think that failing, I think that trying something for the first time, I think that putting yourself out there, these are all very, very difficult for anyone, right? And most people avoid it by doing the regular things, sticking to the routines. I think the hard part in the first time, the second time, the fifth time entrepreneurship journey are all about, challenging yourself and doing the things that you wouldn't necessarily pick to do that same day.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs on that journey, when they encounter what they consider to be the hard part, there's this moment where you really question whether or not you should keep going. some people are at the point of no return, and then you have to weigh that, and then pushing past that place of pain on the journey of first. You said that you talked about if it's difficult for you, then master it. If it's difficult, master it. And you said where it's harder to go, there you should go. Talk about that philosophy.
Yes. So running a business means that you get to take a lot of decisions, right? Whether you're alone or you're part of a group of entrepreneurs, you always have to take decisions, right? Do we go on this route or the other one? Do we develop this product? Do we run with this customer? Do we target this audience? There's endless decisions to make, right? And because you're not a part of a company or of a mature company, nobody tells you what to do, right? So when you pick something, you have to stand behind it and you have to really live it, right? And when you're thinking about decision making, there's multiple factors to it, right? It's a bit philosophical right now, but there's multiple factors to taking a decision, right? There's motivation or knowing it's the right thing. There's intuition, I guess, and there's fear, right? We take a lot of decisions, or more often we don't take decisions because of fear. And we might be able to communicate that, but we might try to avoid it, right? And saying, I don't think that's the right direction, or maybe at a later stage, maybe tomorrow, let's do something else right now. And I think that at some point during the last 15 years, I realized that if you take emotions aside, right, every decision is emotional, right? But if you take the emotions aside and you say, all right, I have this situation in front of me, right? These are the pros, these are the cons, this is the kind of the basic stuff. But then you go to intuition and you say, okay, what does the intuition tell me to do, right? What am I afraid of? Path A or path B? And whatever you're afraid of, right, detach your emotions and go there, right? If you're scared of doing that, you have to do that. So that's my philosophy. I've done a lot of firsts in my entrepreneurship journey. I love it, and I really believe that that's the right approach. Wherever you're scared of, do it.
Wow. Whatever you're scared of, do it. Where it's harder to go, there you should go. Amazing philosophy. And when we come back, we will talk more with Daniel Gorlovetsky, the CEO of TLV Tech, with more insight for you. Welcome back to Down to Business with V. I'm your host, V, and today we have in the studio with us via Zoom, Daniel Gorlovetsky. He is the founder and CEO of TLV Tech. Daniel, thank you so much for being back with us today.
Thank you for having me again, V.
Yes, we've been having a wonderful discussion that's centered around the founder's dilemma and just things that founders, CEOs, and those that might be venturing into startups might be experiencing. One of the things we talked about in our preliminary discussion was asking for help. And you spoke about the courage behind just the ask. Let our audience know some of your sentiments about having the courage to ask for help.
So I think starting a business and running a business are very difficult things, right? I think on the professional level, it's probably the hardest thing I can imagine. I think a lot of people, they like doing it by themselves, right? By themselves. And they kind of avoid asking for help. This can come in multiple fronts, right? It can be asking a friend of ours to test our product or service. It can be telling our family about, something that you need. And it can even be in raising capital, right? When you're raising capital, you're basically asking for capital, right? You're asking for money. And some people might find it very difficult to do. So one thing I really have to emphasize here, you're not alone, right? You've built a life, with communities and with your family and your groups. This is the time where you put it to the test. Right? This is when you ask for help and you expect to be helped. right? So one kind of an angle I would like to take you, if you're one of those people who are afraid to ask for help, think about when somebody asks you for help. Most likely you're going to say, yes, let's help you, let's support you. And after you do that, imagine yourself, how do you feel? You probably feel good, right? Because somebody thought about you, somebody needed your help, you helped them, and you're probably very proud of yourself, right? You're very happy about it. So when you think about this angle, when you ask for help, you actually kind of do somebody a favor, right? You kind of give them the opportunity to feel needed, to feel special. So it's not like you're begging. It's not like you're a burden or something. You really kind of give them. We say in Hebrew, it's a mitzvah, right? It's like almost an opportunity. It's almost like a value for them. You give them the opportunity to do something good and to bring good karma to them. So whenever you need help, think about it the other way. Think about how you would love to help that person, and just ask for it. And if you're on the other end of the equation, if somebody asks you for help, remember that entrepreneurship and business are very hard. There's endless pieces and content about illness, physical and mental, about the struggle, the challenges, the difficulty. If somebody asks you for help and they're an entrepreneur, please support them.
Absolutely. Daniel, beautiful words. You talked about the mitzvah, giving someone an opportunity to help you, to assist you. And you're so right. For those of us that have been on the receiving end of someone saying, hey, can you help me? It's been a joy and a privilege to do so. And I can speak for myself when I say I do it again and again and again. So such a beautiful paradigm shift that is about asking for help, asking for what you need, and giving someone else the opportunity to show you kindness. Another beautiful Hebrew word, chesed, to show you that kindness. Yeah, so I love it. I love it. As we're talking about asking for help and being able to build out those businesses, there's an opportunity to leverage technology. You talked about deep tech and other types of technology that could help businesses with efficiency. Let's talk about that and how business owners and startup owners and founders can use that as well.
So in 2023, almost 24, everything can be more efficient with technology, right? And there's, technology is very mature now, right? You have, internet, which is like, of course, it's old, but it's not as old as, shops. And you have, web, and you have mobile phones, and you have GPT, of course, ChatGPT, and all of that innovation. So when you think about running a business, there's endless ways that you can make it more efficient. And in the business space, efficiency means money, right? Means revenue, means profits, means less expenses, meaning being able to scale. So whether you're a barbershop or you sell shoes in like a physical brick and mortar store, there's endless things you can do with technology. Specifically, now there's a trend around things called no code. No code means that you can really leverage tech yourself, right, or with the help of somebody, on a very kind of a low level tech, and really use tools to make complex technology using a very simple drag and drop and very simple functions and flows. So if you're in business, whether it's low tech or high tech, you can definitely think and explore how technology can help you make your business better. And of course, we're here to consult and to help. Back to the previous point, right? We love helping. So whenever an entrepreneur comes to us and says, I need help, no agreements, no contracts, no commercials. Let's hop on a quick call and let's help you out.
That's wonderful. And I love that in the last episode, you said just even notes on a notepad, an A4, is plenty to get you started in a conversation with you and the team at TLV Tech. I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Are there any additional words of encouragement that you would have for founders and those that are venturing into this startup journey about what they can expect, or how to overcome challenges that they might be experiencing on their journey?
So first, I think that it's almost mandatory to be realistic, right? Everybody wants to be muscular, but nobody wants to go to the gym. I think when you look at entrepreneurship, when you look at startups, you see the success, right? You see raising capital, and you see IPOs, and you see parties and large companies, but nobody sees the behind the scenes, right? It's very difficult. And even before you go on that journey, I really encourage you to have your family members, to have your spouse, to have your friends be on your side and really understand what it is you chose to do, right? Which, it's going to be difficult, right? You don't even have to believe in that. Just keep saying it's going to be difficult. I need your support. I need your help. I need you by my side. I need you to help me plan, or to help me think, or let's do a brainstorm. Just get as many people as you can around you, because it's going to be very difficult and you're going to need that support, physically, financially, mentally, emotionally. So make sure that you have your back, right, or your audience behind you. So that's one thing. Another thing is, again, prepare for challenge, right? Prepare to do things that you didn't think you would do, right? And if you have something that you don't like doing, if it's public speaking, if it's gala dinners, if it's going into the bits and bytes of a product, or if it's marketing, right? You're going to do that, right? So whether you like it or you don't, you're going to do that. So prepare yourself to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, and you might be a bit afraid of.
Yeah, excellent advice. On every entrepreneur's path, I always say that there's going to be a part of the thing that you love that is work for you. And work for some people is play for others. So like you talked about, there might be people that love marketing, but for some business owners, marketing is, the thorn in their side. Like, do I really have to do this today? So I love the advice. And it leans back into that point that you made, where it's harder to go, there you should go. And if it's difficult, master it. So I think that's absolutely beautiful advice. In our previous episode, you gave a word of warning about the hourly rate. Is there anything else that a founder, an entrepreneur should be aware of if they're looking to work with a tech partner, looking to build out an app, looking to create a bot? Is in the last 3 minutes that we have, is there anything that you would say, hey, pay attention to this. This could make or break you in this situation?
Yes. So occasionally we have entrepreneurs coming to us and say, I have this idea, and we need it developed, right? We need a product. And then they kind of shift out, right? They expect us to do everything that has to do with the business, right? Especially with tech founders, I think that's the situation. But I think that one thing that we need to be very minded of is that technology it's only a support level, right? It can only support the business. It would never drive the business. So whenever you go into a tech partner or an outsourcing company in any profession, right, in any angle, whether it's a marketing outsourcing or sales outsourcing, you need to be always in the loop, right? Your voice is what would drive that angle, that front, right? We're here to help, right? Technology is our passion. We're good at it. We build hundreds of products so far. But you need to stay in the business, right? You're the subject matter experts. Whether you're a doctor building a medical app, whether you're a finance person who builds something around fintech, you need to stay in the loop. You need to be the driver of your business. And of course, you need to focus on bringing more and more business. For example, we love to be on the stressed angle, right? We love it when people come into us and say, I have 100 clients waiting for that app. Perfect. Let's get to it. Let's build your app, right? And then it's not unusual when we work with companies that they start getting more and more commitments for their clients, for their partners, for their VCs. And then, they keep on rushing us, what's going on with that. We love that stress. We love working under fire, literally. I think that it really kind of maybe emphasizes or summarizes the fact that tech can only support, it can't drive business. So when working with us, since we're taking the whole defensive side, we need the founders and the business people to drive more and more business.
I love it. Daniel Gorlovetsky, CEO of TLV Tech. Daniel, you can do absolutely anything. Thank you so much for your insight, your expertise, your encouragement. On behalf of my team and my audience, we sincerely appreciate you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, V. Bye-bye.
If you or someone you know has been a victim of a data breach, account compromise, deep fakes, or digital impersonation fraud, be sure to contact your local police department or the FBI at ic3.gov. Also, be sure to visit our sponsor, Vicker Group LLC, business consultants for Generation U at vickergroup.com for cybersecurity awareness training and other resources to help protect you, your family, your businesses, and the community. If you'd like to sponsor the show, be a guest on the show, or have show ideas, feel free to contact us at dtbwithv.com. I'd like to thank our crew today, Doug, Suzanne, Stephen, David, Zach, and Jen. We couldn't do the show without you. And I'd like to thank you, our audience, for watching. I'm your host, V. This is Down to Business with V, and we'll see you next time.